Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashil, Yahweh Shah, Bahashil, Grahak Kadash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and my Heavenly Brother, Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh by Shema Shah, trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Spanish, Native American, Seminole Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations. Like, for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person or so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some random videos of stuff that's going on. Like, pretty much stuff related to war and AI and the military and NATO nations separating and whatever. Anyway, I'm going to play these videos and something about some nuclear stuff. Anyway, I'm going to play these videos. I'm going to get into the scripture my best ability to say whatever God say through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shema Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Krahak Dash. Lord, will it be on me? Let's get it. Oh, and also cyber security or cyber attacks and all that other shit. Anyway, let's go.
Ukraine's military says it's facing a growing problem of desertion. Experts estimate approximately 150,000 service members may be missing from their units as the war grinds through its fifth year. Soldiers cite extreme fatigue caused by long deployments without rotation, anger at orders seen as suicide missions, and forced mobilization. Special correspondent Jack Hewson reports on one young soldier who says these pressures pushed him beyond his breaking point. We've changed the names and voices of some of the subjects in this report to protect their identities.
Across Ukraine's towns and villages, tens of thousands of former soldiers hide from a duty they can no longer face. For many, like Andriy, it wasn't always this way. He signed up to fight willingly in 2023.
I couldn't just sit there, healthy and young, and not go defend my country. I thought there was something to fight for.
When Andriy arrived at the front in Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine, he was just 18 years old, but his youthful enthusiasm to defend his country quickly turned. At first, he was sheltered from frontline missions, according to his comrade Sasha.
He was the youngest among us. To be honest, he was like a child. He didn't understand where he had come from. He was a little confused.
As he became an accomplished fighter, Andriy's youthful enthusiasm and patriotic zeal would be tainted by his perception of the battalion's leadership.
I thought people would be valued. I thought there would be some kind of support there. Well, I got there and I realized...
Hey, you was just thrown out in the wolves. Shit. They didn't give a fuck about your ass. That's how it's gonna be here when World War III pops out, especially here in America. They're gonna be snatching motherfuckers up or either trying to sell them bullshit. And a lot of them catching that bullshit. And they thinking, yeah, I'm gonna be patriotic and go out there and fight for my freedom, my country. And you be like, what the fuck is this shit about? Nigga, these niggas don't give a fuck about us. Where's the aid at? we ordered more aid, but this shit ain't come yet. We fucked.
that the commanders were sending people to their deaths. Yeah. It was crazy.
They
didn't give a fuck, man. Bullet catchers. That's all you are. Missile food, grenade food, shit.
Allegedly flippant attitude towards life and the pressures of the command that he believes led to the suicide of a friend, Denis Boyko, at a frontline position in early 2024.
I went into the kitchen and saw the soldier lying there, his head gone. I just saw that and froze. I just stared at him and that was it. I couldn't even understand anything. I just stared at him, his head gone. It was just crazy.
Boyko recorded his suicide on the eve of a dangerous assault mission he didn't want to complete. He filmed a suicide note on his phone before shooting himself in the head with his assault rifle on camera.
The man couldn't take the pressure because the commander put a lot of pressure on him. The man shot himself, and he was only 20 years old.
Chief Sergeant Volodymyr Tkach was also present at the time. He agreed with Andriy that Boyko had been pressured, but he said other factors were also in play.
He had a fight over his girlfriend, a little alcohol, a little unprofessional work by a psychologist with him the day before, and plus the pressure from the command, and this young man simply couldn't cope.
Deeply traumatized by the incident, Andriy's mental health would deteriorate over 2024 as he was sent on ever more dangerous missions, often stranded on the hard front without adequate ammunition or even food and water.
They fried snakes there and ate them. I drank water from puddles through a straw. I wanted to drink so badly.
What would soon prompt Andriy's desertion were a series of catastrophic missions in Krasnohorivka in 2024. Missions he says convinced him he could no longer trust his commanders.
We have a battalion. We just entered Krasnohorivka in 2024, and our battalion was immediately bombed, everything. It was just awful what was happening. Just a few people survived. One soldier next to me is suffocating. The other has no legs. The commander says, evacuation will be in a couple of days. He says, well, that's how it is. He says you can't do anything, just endure it. I'm in shock. I'm sitting there thinking, what's going on?
Lucky to survive that bombardment, Andriy would eventually be wounded in a drone attack. After only a few days in hospital, he returned to the front where his commanding officer told him he would be deployed on an assault mission the following day. This...
They been like, hey, there ain't nothing but a flesh room, nigga. Get your ass on up and get on out there. Suit and booted. Be locked and loaded. Get your ass on out there. Shit. And then them boo-boos get kissed. And then that's it. Get your ass on out there.
was his breaking point.
He said, "You're going to storm the building." I say, "No, that's it, I'm done." I say, "I endured 2.5 years. Endured, and now I say you're a scumbag. Will you come with me?" He said, "No." That's it. Then the sergeant took my machine gun because I wanted to shoot him. Our commander. They took my machine gun away from me. The commander just said, "If you are killed, it doesn't matter. I will send new soldiers." He's not a commander, he's just a monster.
The commander...
Yeah, he's an Edomite. He's probably a small-head nigger.
that Andriy is referring to is Major Alexei Kucherenko. Andriy's comrade, Sasha, also complained that Kucherenko's decisions had repeatedly cost lives and almost cost him his own. After returning from one mission, having lost men, he said Major Kucherenko merely mocked them.
He said, "Guys, you fought badly. Not many of you died. Couldn't you fight
Damn. He ain't give a fuck about his own people.
better? No? Then we'll replace you and send you to even deeper places."
Chief Sergeant Tkach also identified Major Kucherenko as a factor in Andrei's eventual desertion, but said he was symptomatic of a broader failure.
I can name Major Kucherenko, the battalion commander at the time, but I emphasize this is a systemic problem. I must say that Major Kucherenko's fault, in my opinion, lies in his incompetence and in supporting this system that doesn't work. If you talk to Major Kucherenko, he will say that he is a great guy, and the company commander is a fool. Sorry for being frank. Well, and so on. The company commander will say that he is a great guy, and that it is the sergeant who gave the order, etc.
Amid the grim brutality of the front, throughout last year, Ukraine saw a sharp rise in soldiers deserting. Thousands have walked off of the front line. Soldiers and some commanders describe exhausted infantry units, collapsing rotations, forced conscription, and resentment at leadership failures.
If in 2022-2023 we had 1 or 2, maximum 3 people in the unit who became deserters, then since 2024 there have been...
You know, there's going to be a whole lot over here in America. I just feel like bringing that up. Yeah, they already happen. They saying, man, fuck America, man. Fuck this fighting the wars and shit. Shit. It ain't worth it. Especially fight for them damn small-head niggas.
Tens of thousands across the country.
Them dirty rats.
And this means that this is a systemic problem.
Why is it now that the numbers are escalating so quickly with regards to desertion?
The reason is again very simple. Mobilization, how it is carried out.
The catch is referring to the forced mobilization that is in
Yeah, coming to America, be snatching men up of all ages, 18 or even younger than that. Probably going to be getting down low to 12 years old. Heck yeah, and then all the way up to them grandpa age, be in a wheelchair or what you call them, rockers, using rockers, whatever the hell, a cane. Shit, they don't give a fuck. Gonna replace that damn walking stick or that cane with a damn rifle.
thousands of men, in some cases,
And plus women too, of course.
literally pulled off of the streets into minibuses, a phenomenon dryly referred to as bussification, and then shipped on to the front.
And when human rights are violated, you should not expect that this person will become a super patriotic hero.
Shortly after our interview with Andriy, we discovered that he'd been arrested by military police and, despite his debilitating PTSD, was being forced back to frontline duty.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. This shit. If they do this to their own fucking people, you know damn well they won't give a fuck about you Israelites. Shit, this is just clear, show you clearly that these people don't give a damn about their own people. Let me get to something. Nope, that's not it. Yeah. Ecclesiastes chapter 14, verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? Yeah. He didn't give a damn about his own people. What the hell does Zelensky? How does Zelensky feel about this? He don't feel shit. He high on cocaine, nigga. That nigga got nothing but powder in his nostrils.
He managed to talk to us briefly over video call at a detention center in Dnipro.
There are people like me here. They were deserters, and they were also caught. Some were caught by military registration office employees and brought here. I don't know what they're doing here. I am very angry. Very angry. They don't want to send me for treatment. I tell them I have torn ligaments in my body and a traumatic...
Man, look at that. They don't care. They're like, shit, we don't care how you feel. And they just want me to read this one. Ecclesiastes chapter 26, verse 28. There be two things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry, a man of war that suffereth poverty. Shoot. Yeah, that poverty, well, let me see. Poverty just means man has like finances or something. Let me check. But still, you got a lot of soldiers that's suffering through some shit. The state of a, how you pronounce this word? Deprivation says damaging lack of material benefits considering to be basic necessities in society. So pretty much, yeah. Anyway, individuals or families lack the income to meet basic needs, including food, shelter, health. Yeah, pretty much they don't give a fuck.
Traumatic brain injury.
It shows you is like, this is not your rest. Shit.
My eardrums are ruptured. I have shrapnel inside me. And they say, you'll come to the battalion like this, and only then will we decide what to do. People here treat me badly.
Before we could continue our interview further, Andrew was forced to stop filming by the guards at the detention center. He was taken back to the front line a few days later. Within weeks, we learned he had deserted once again.
He said, fuck you niggas.
Responding to the allegations made in this report in a written statement, the Ukrainian...
They probably gonna end up killing his ass.
Ministry of Defense said that any instances of misconduct were categorically unacceptable and had no place in their ranks. Additionally, they stated that the fact should be reported for legal assessment, and if confirmed, appropriate disciplinary action should be taken. We made multiple requests for comment from the command of the 21st Special Purposes Battalion and from Major Kucherenko, but received no response. Despite the injustices described by soldiers in this report, all stressed their pride in their service and in their national cause. But forcing men to fight against their will is compounding desertion numbers.
What the hell, you got a shotgun?
Service and in their national cause. But forcing men...
What the fuck you gonna do? Oh, I guess she had a shotgun for the drones. Yeah, I thought he had like a rifle, but no, the shotgun to shoot drones down.
To fight against their will is compounding
that's why he's looking up.
Desertion numbers and degrading morale.
And now they surround all the netting for the drones.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Jack Hewson in Ukraine.
Support journalism you trust.
Anyway, let's move on to the next one.
Welcome to the WE ON podcast, where we explore fascinating stories and ideas from various fields. In this episode, we explore how Russia nearly doubled its oil earnings amid the West Asia war, revealing how geopolitical tensions, sanctions shifts, and disrupted supply routes reshaped global energy markets. As global oil prices surged amid the conflict, Russia saw a sharp rise in export revenues, supported by easing restrictions and shifting market dynamics. The country earned $19 billion last month as crude and oil product exports rose to 7.1 million barrels per day, up 320,000 barrels per day from February levels. The United States eased some restrictions on sales of Russian crude imposed over its war against Ukraine, allowing countries to purchase oil that was already at sea until April 11th to calm the raging oil prices, after Iran attacked energy infrastructure across the Gulf in retaliation for the US-Israeli bombing campaign against the Islamic Republic, which began on February 28th, killing top leadership to spark a regime change in Tehran, while Tehran's effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of global oil transits, sent energy markets into a spiral. However, after nearly 39 days of fighting, both sides reached a fragile 12-day ceasefire to negotiate peace, but it remained in limbo as the talks in Islamabad collapsed after 21 hours of negotiations ended without agreement, with US Vice President J.D. Vance saying Tehran had refused to accept Washington's terms. US President Trump subsequently announced a naval blockade of Iran, declaring that the United States would stop every vessel in international waters that had paid a toll to Tehran. The Council on Foreign Relations casting a long shadow over the already fragile truce. In another positive development for Moscow's energy exports, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on April 14th that a pipeline carrying Russian oil through Ukraine to Hungary and Slovakia that was damaged in attacks by Moscow would reopen by the end of April. As for the oil pipeline, as we promised, it will be repaired by the end of April, not completely, but enough for it to function, Zelensky told reporters in Berlin. the status of the pipeline had been a major source of tension between Zelensky, who wants all EU countries to stop buying Russian energy, and Hungary's outgoing Prime Minister Viktor Orban, who maintained warm ties with Russian President Vladimir Putin despite the invasion of Ukraine and suffered a landslide election defeat on April 12th as his Fidesz party was reduced to just 55 seats against the 138 secured by Peter Magyar's opposition Tisza party, bringing an end to his 16-year rule. Thanks for tuning in to this incredible story. If this episode resonated with you, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more.
I'm Dominique Lay, your neighborhood reporter in Waco. Did you know a young man turning 18, applying for his driver's license, or filling out any government forms may also be signing up for the military draft? Starting this December, automatic...
Yeah, they gonna do shit. These niggas ain't shit.
Selective service registration becomes law.
I wasn't expected to be hearing that today.
It's something most guys about to turn 18 know, but most others don't. That's the age when males are required to sign up for the selective service. But in December, that will shift to automatic registration for all eligible men ages 18 to 25.
I think I'd rather the registration be something that I choose to do.
I met with some students at Baylor University
Nigga, you don't have no choice.
And broke down the new law.
And look at these motherfuckers. And they all Edomites, yeah. Goddamn, get your ass on that deal.
If I'm getting it drafted, I'd rather just have it be done the easier way.
It'll definitely make the process quicker.
Here's what we know. Automatic registration was signed into law in December 2025 as part of the National Defense Authorization Act. Right now, U.S. male citizens and immigrants ages 18
and not just males, but females too,
to 25 are required to self-register in the selective service system within 90 days of their 18th birthday, with late registration available until age 26. But with this new law, proponents say it's meant to save the selective service system millions of dollars and streamline the existing self-registration process. So what are the exemptions? Hospitalization, incarceration, current non-immigrant visas, those on active duty, and women. That means asylum seekers...
Wait a minute, what? Exemption? Women? Nigga, please. They gonna draft them, you bitches too. I don't wanna say bitches, but fucking you bitches too.
Current non-immigrant visas, those on active duty, and women. That means asylum seekers, green card holders, men with disabilities, and dual citizenship do have to register.
My other country's
even disability
citizenship, I'm required to go to military after 18 if I enter the country again, and now having another country where that may be the case is a bit worrying.
And in case you're wondering, the last active draft ended in 1973. Now, if a draft were actually activated, Congress would have to amend the Military Selective Service Act, and only then would the system pull from a lottery of birthdays and numbers to select who must serve. Reporting in Waco, I'm Dominique Lay.
Welcome to the WeOn podcast, where we explore fascinating stories and ideas from various fields. In this episode, we explore how Palantir's AI-powered Maven system helped the US military carry out precision strikes in Iran, reshaping modern warfare. Donald Trump recently used his Truth Social platform to publicly praise Palantir Technologies, calling its systems highly effective in warfare and suggesting adversaries are already aware of its capabilities. The endorsement reflects a broader shift. Artificial intelligence is no longer just a productivity tool. It is becoming central to how wars are planned and executed. This transformation was on display during the recent Iran conflict, where AI-assisted systems played a key operational role. Before strikes were carried out, software processed vast volumes of satellite imagery, drone feeds, and intelligence data to generate more than 1,000 potential strike options. What once required days of human analysis was reduced to minutes, dramatically accelerating the pace of decision-making. At the center of this capability is Palantir's Maven Smart System, MSS, a sophisticated command and control platform. Maven integrates intelligence streams from across the military, army, navy, air force, and even space-based assets into a unified system. It can identify, track, and classify targets, such as vehicles, infrastructure, and weapons with remarkable speed, often reducing identification time to under a minute. Beyond targeting, Maven also supports predictive logistics. Analyzing patterns and real-time data, it helps commanders anticipate where supplies, reinforcements, or firepower will be needed before shortages arise. This allows military leaders to act proactively rather than reactively, improving operational efficiency on the battlefield. A major enhancement to Maven came through its integration with AI technology developed by Anthropic. Its Claude model enabled the system to go beyond raw data processing, offering contextual analysis, identifying patterns, and presenting commanders with more nuanced assessments. Instead of simply flagging potential targets, the system could interpret their significance based on historical and situational context. However, the partnership has not been without challenges. Anthropic reportedly placed limits on how its AI could be used, particularly in autonomous weapons or surveillance roles, prompting the Pentagon to explore alternative solutions. Despite these tensions, the US Department of Defense has formally designated Maven as a long-term program of record, signaling its deep and enduring integration into military operations. Maven's use is not limited to a single conflict. Variants of the system have been deployed for nearly a decade, supporting missions in Somalia against extremist groups, aiding operations in Iraq and Syria, assisting evacuation and rescue efforts in Afghanistan, and contributing to monitoring efforts in the Ukraine conflict. Its adoption by NATO further underscores its growing global footprint. Yet the rise of AI in warfare has sparked serious ethical and operational concerns. Critics argue that compressing decision timelines leaves less room for human verification, increasing the risk of errors. In high-stakes environments, a misidentified target can lead to devastating consequences. Reports of civilian casualties during strikes in Iran have intensified scrutiny, with lawmakers calling for stricter oversight and transparency regarding the role of AI in targeting decisions. Palantir maintains that human operators remain firmly in the loop, making final decisions on the use of force. Still, as AI systems become more advanced and deeply embedded in military strategy, questions remain about accountability, reliability, and the future balance between human judgment and machine-driven
There's none. No accountability, none of that shit.
insights. What is clear is that Palantir
We got a fucking madman in control of the AI. Shit. So, I mean, whatever.
is no longer a niche defense contractor.
And wait till they use this same technology, not just for warfare out there. And pretty much they're going to use this shit on the citizens. American citizens. And mainly on you Israelites. Shit. And, but also they're going to use it on the men of the Lord. Shit. That's why the Lord going to lift up the standard against the enemies of Israel. Yeah, man. I'm fucking tired of this shit.
With multi-billion-dollar government contracts and a rapidly growing market valuation, the company has positioned itself at the center of a new era, one where data, algorithms, and artificial intelligence are as critical to warfare as traditional weapons. Thanks for tuning into this incredible story. If this episode
As the U.S. blockades Iran's ports, American officials are warning of an Iranian cyber attack on businesses and consumers. Just yesterday, Yahoo reported that hackers linked to Tehran disrupted their web service. We're also learning that a new FBI report shows that losses from cybercrime reached nearly $21 billion last year. That is a 31% increase from 2024. Usher Qureshi has an exclusive look at how hackers are using AI to breach networks and how you can protect yourself.
Battered by U.S. and Israeli strikes, Iran is hitting back, not with missiles, but cyber attacks that know no borders. A new joint report warns Iranian-affiliated cyber attackers are targeting U.S. infrastructure, including energy and drinking water. Last month, Iranian-linked hackers broke into FBI Director Kash Patel's personal email. They also hit Michigan-based medical manufacturer Stryker, stealing private data and crippling their business for weeks.
I believe that cybersecurity is the largest technical challenge of our generation.
Brian Murphy is the founder and CEO of ReliaQuest, a Tampa-based cybersecurity firm that works with major corporations.
Attackers are using the same tools that everyone else is using. They're using AI and automation to try to do more damage, to move faster, to create havoc, to steal.
To show us how hackers can infiltrate a private network to paralyze operations and put sensitive company and consumer data at risk, they've set up a little demonstration for us. With me today is their Director of Threat Research, Brandon Tirado, who's going to play the role of hacker today, right?
That's right.
In another room, his willing co-workers. Tirado's weapon of choice, an increasingly common attack known as an email bomb.
I've created a script via AI to send a bunch of emails to my target to essentially influx their inbox.
Next, a carefully laid trap to earn his victim's trust.
And now you're going to pretend to be their IT department.
Exactly.
Hello.
Hey, Chloe, this is Brandon calling from the help desk. It looks like you've been getting an influx in emails. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I've been getting a ton.
What I'm going to do really quickly is I'm going to send over a file in our chat.
I see it. Spam email cleanup.
Can you download that for me?
Yeah.
Just like that, Tirado is in and has access to everything on their network.
I have financial information. I have employee information. It looks like some confidential attorney-client privilege.
All of that data, ammunition for identity theft, hacking, even blackmail. And it gets worse.
If I hit this red button here, I could actually execute and encrypt not only Chloe's computer, but all the computers that Chloe can speak to.
Do any of you guys have a black screen?
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing, saying all of my files just got encrypted.
4 minutes, that's all it took.
We're the biggest target in the world.
Murphy says America is squarely in the crosshairs, but cybersecurity experts are fighting AI-driven attacks with their own AI. We're looking at real-time information in terms of threat levels from a particular app.
Yeah.
And he says they're winning more often than you'd think.
The good guys win quite often.
Whatever, good guys. Anyway.
You just can't really talk about it.
So how can you protect yourself from getting hacked? Well, think before you click. Over 90% of attacks come from phishing scams, emails, and texts. A hacker generally can't get in unless you give them access. Use strong passwords and consider a free password manager from companies like Google or Apple to help you keep them.
Well, anyway, man, not all wars are fought with daggone bullets and grenades, but also they can be on the internet. You never get no rest, man. Find out some motherfucker stole your identity and just like steal your identity, plus, especially your true identity of being an Israelite. Shit, they done that by violence. Next video.
Saved.
Man.
North Korea's nuclear shadow is growing, and this time the warning is not subtle.
Well, the head of International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Grossi, has flagged what he calls a very serious escalation in Pyongyang's nuclear capabilities. And from the heart of Yongbyon, Nuclear Scientific Research Center, long seen as the core of North America's atomic ambitions, there are now signs of rapid coordinated expansion. Reports say a 5-megawatt reactor is active, a reprocessing unit is running, a light water reactor is operational, and most concerning, a new uranium enrichment facility may have been added to the mix. This matters because enriched uranium offers a faster, more flexible path to building nuclear weapons than plutonium.
Intelligence backed by satellite imagery suggests that this new facility could produce weapons-grade material, potentially accelerating North Korea's nuclear output, while the regime is estimated to possess a few dozen nuclear warheads.
Well, Grossi warns this is not just about capability, it is also about consequence, because every step forward by Pyongyang risks triggering a broader nuclear domino effect across the region. Meanwhile, questions linger over possible foreign support, and so far there is no evidence of Russian technology in North Korea's weapons program, but the strategic alignment between North Korea and Russia is under close watch.
And the timing here is critical. In South Korea, a new debate is gaining momentum. Seoul is pushing ahead with plans to build nuclear-powered submarines, a move that could shift the region's security balance. The IAEA is now calling for ironclad guarantees to ensure that civilian nuclear technology does not slip into military use.
Walk away for a second. Isaiah chapter 9 verse 5. Oh, what the hell going on? My mouse started acting slow. What is it? For every battle of the warrior is with a confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. ICBM missiles. And they got them warheads, or nuclear warheads attached to them. That's going to be used to destroy America, Babylon the Great, and other parts around the world. So hey, man, you want to seek the Lord, man, pray the Lord have mercy on you and get you out of this world before that great destruction comes. Let's get to the last video. This is coming from GMS Vegas 144 Reloaded. Matthew chapter 12 verse 25 verse 26. And Yahushua knows thoughts. Yahushua know their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided, against himself. So Esau, pretty much a whole country, any kind of, it's just division. This is what this video, that scripture is all about, division. He is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?
France just pulled its remaining gold reserves from U.S. custody, a $15 billion repatriation. Here's why it matters. This isn't just a financial move. They
don't want to deal with America shit no more. Hell, it's not even just that. They're showing that they're separating from America. Also, they're not. I was just watching one video. I had talked about it before, but these European nations, these allies of America, are separating themselves from their tech. America's tech, like Microsoft. They're switching over to Linux, to their operation systems for their government to operate their computers on Linux instead of with Microsoft. So they don't want to deal with Microsoft no more. Especially they scared that now, since there have been some disagreements with the allies of America. Shit, America might end up tampering with the allies' computers and all that shit. So they gonna rather end up dealing with making their own little special OS system for their computers and their government. But anyway,
Geopolitical signal.
It's based off Linux.
When a major NATO ally quietly withdraws its gold from American vaults, the world notices. France joins a growing list of nations, including
Germany, Germany done it.
Germany and the Netherlands, that have repatriated gold over the past decade. The pattern is clear.
They don't trust them. They don't trust them. They lost their confidence or lost their trust in America. And hell, that shows you that either way is America, Germany, or France are all ran by Edomites, and they all are divided. Just like in that scripture we read earlier. They are divided. Their house is not going to stand. It's falling.
Used trust in U.S. financial infrastructure as a safe haven. Now factor in the current U.S.-Iran tension.
Pretty much the house of the Satan. These damn Edomites are divided. I mean, they're not. Yeah, they're against one another.
Washington is projecting military force across the Middle East. Tehran is watching Western alliances fracture. Every crack in transatlantic financial unity gives Iran's leadership a narrative that U.S. dominance is eroding. France's move doesn't destabilize the dollar overnight, but combined with sanctions pressure, oil markets, and ongoing proxy conflicts, it adds weight to a shifting global order. The question now, which ally moves next, and how does Washington respond?
That's happening as NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte is preparing for a trip to Washington. On Wednesday, he'll meet Mr. Trump, who's been lashing out against allies for reportedly not doing enough to help reopen the Strait. But Mr. Trump's key ally in Europe pushing back on Friday. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni said during a visit to Saudi Arabia that she disagrees with that criticism. For more on this, I've got Claire Sebastian joining us from London. Claire, good to see you. And we're seeing images of Giorgia Meloni's visit to Saudi Arabia. She's saying this time she has to disagree with President Trump regarding the criticism about EU leaders and the way that they're positioning themselves in this war. How important is this messaging from Italy?
Yeah, Eleni, I think it underscores both the comments and the fact that she is now the first EU and NATO leader to visit the Gulf region since the start of the US-Israeli war with Iran. All of that underscores the delicate balance these countries face. Even, leaders like Meloni seem to be particularly close to Trump as this war, seems to be escalating, and they are sticking to their stance of not wanting to get involved. Let me read you these comments in full that she made to an Italian broadcaster. She said, "I continue to believe that on a geopolitical level, Europe has little to gain from a divergence with the United States, but our job is above all to defend our national interests, and when we disagree, we must say so, and this time we disagree." And we've had sort of a similar line taken by other leaders in Europe, the likes of Keir Starmer in the United Kingdom, Emmanuel Macron in France, perhaps even stronger words from him. So it is delicate. The US is still 60% plus of NATO spending, and these countries have no choice really but to deal with the fallout of this war as the Strait of Hormuz remains closed. And that's part of the reason why we see Giorgia Meloni in the Gulf region. Italy is heavily exposed to this disruption. It's a major importer, for example, of liquefied natural gas from Qatar. She's also expected to hold meetings with Qatar and the UAE, according to a source in her office. But this is sort of one track that these countries around the world are taking as they deal with the fallout. We also see them coming together in broader coalitions to try to underscore the need for de-escalation. We saw this in the past week with 40 plus countries getting involved in a virtual meeting hosted by the UK. And we also see an effort to sort of strengthen non-US alliances. We saw for the first time in the past week members of the European Parliament in China for the first time in 8 years. And Emmanuel Macron of France was in South Korea, where he's made some pretty strong comments about this conflict and the US methods of dealing with it. Take a listen to some comments he made Friday in a sort of discussion with South Korean students.
I think our objective is not to be the vassals of two hegemonic powers. None of this hegemonic power, I would say. And we don't want to depend on the dominance, let's say, on China, or we don't want to be too much exposed to the unpredictability of the US.
Exposed to the US, I think, critical to note that phrasing, this world that we now live in. And I think, look, while this is delicate and the US is still a critical ally for these countries, we do see a hardening of this position among some and a real resolve to look elsewhere to ensure their security going forward, Eleni.
A sharp rift is emerging within Western alliances as Donald Trump escalates threats against Iran and turns his fire on allies. From NATO to the Indo-Pacific, Washington's partners are refusing to back a potential military offensive, exposing deep fractures at a critical geopolitical moment.
We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be
nigga turn talk all that time.
Out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. Do I want to destroy their infrastructure? No. It will take them 100 years to rebuild. Right now, if we left today, it would take them 20 years to rebuild their country, and it would never be as good as it was. And the only way they're going to be able to rebuild their country is to utilize the genius of the United States of America.
And meanwhile, he talking all this shit. These niggas' infrastructure in America is shitty. The bridge is shitty. The roads are shitty. The way the water flows through the pipes is shitty and rusty and packed full of lead. Everything's shitty here in America. It's like they put sugar on top of shit. That's all they do. And talk shit too. And it's 4:41 on the clock. Oh, praise y'all about Shemal Shah. Why y'all about Shemal Shah? They talking all these niggas talking all this shit. And talking about what he gonna do to these other people's infrastructure. But damn, focus on yours. Cause see, your shit gonna get fucked up too. I mean, your shit, you don't even have to do anything. Now, another nation might not even have to do anything today. America's infrastructure, when especially the electricity, cause hell, America's gonna do it themselves. But damn, using AI to put an overload on the electric power grid. Heck yeah. And the citizens gonna suffer through this shit. Rightfully so, because these motherfuckers are proud as hell. Anyway.
Trump has set a deadline for Tehran over the Strait of Hormuz, warning of overwhelming force. But his rhetoric has alarmed allies, especially as he refuses to rule out civilian infrastructure as targets. Frustration is now spilling into public criticism. Trump has singled out key U.S. allies, questioning their commitment despite decades of American security guarantees. Europe, meanwhile, is pushing back. France has warned that targeting Iranian infrastructure could trigger a vicious cycle of escalation, while Spain signals a deeper strategic shift, suggesting Washington's stance is forcing Europe to rethink its security architecture.
They are prohibited under the rules of war and international law. Targeting Iran's energy sector could open a new phase of retaliatory escalation, a vicious cycle that would be very worrying and very damaging to our own interests. We must take our citizens' security and dissuasion into our own hands. The U.S. administration's remarks are inviting us Europeans to take a leap in terms of our sovereignty and defense matters.
As tensions rise and fuel prices surge, the Iran standoff is no longer just a regional crisis. It is fast becoming a test of Western unity itself, with allies divided, strategies clashing, and the risk of escalation growing by the day.
I'm Didi Gatton, and just a day later, and the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran is already on shaky ground as Israel expands its strikes in Lebanon. Ryan Smith joins us at the live desk as the president continues to slam allied countries for not supporting the war. Ryan?
Didi, all new tonight, President Trump now taking aim once again here at NATO. He posted right here on Truth Social late tonight, quote, NATO wasn't there when we needed them, and they won't be there if we need them again. Remember Greenland, that big, poorly run piece of ice. Now, NATO's Secretary General, in fact, he was here in Washington, D.C. today meeting with President Trump, and as you see right here, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, he is now backing up why President Trump feels disappointed in how NATO allies are responding to the war.
But at the same time, I was also able to point to the fact that the large majority of European nations has been helpful with basing, with logistics, with overflights, with making sure that they live up to the commitments.
John, go ahead. Thanks a lot, Caroline. Two questions for you. One has to do with a joint statement put out this morning by some of America's European allies, our NATO allies. And in that joint statement, they said regarding the Strait of Hormuz, our governments will contribute to ensuring freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. What's the administration's reaction to that joint statement? Does that smooth things over when the president meets with NATO Secretary General a little bit later this afternoon?
I have a direct quote from the president of the United States on NATO, and I will share it with all of you. They were tested and they failed. And I would add, it's quite sad that NATO turned their backs on the American people over the course of the last last 6 weeks when it's the American people who have been funding their defense. As you know, President Trump will be meeting with Secretary Rutte in a couple of hours here at the White House, and I know he looks forward to having a very frank and candid conversation with him.
And secondly,
I'm fed up with the fact that families across the country see their bills go up and down on energy.
Oh man, get the fuck out of here, nigga. Get the fuck out. Then he want to try to tell me he want to talk about some digital ID. Get the fuck out of here, nigga.
Hours here at the White House, and I know he looks forward to having a very frank and candid conversation with him.
And secondly,
I'm fed up with the fact that families across the country see their bills go up and down.
You fed up, but then you want to slap them with a digital ID. Nigga, get the... And then you see the response y'all got after doing that bullshit. And you still want to push that digital ID. It's still on the table. They still want to push that shit out. They just trying to figure out another way to how to push it. But it's coming, though. And the only way they're going to come is when they keep pushing them down. Hey, he talking about he feel bad for the people going through paying so much for the bills. Get the fuck out of here. That's part of the plan to get people microchip. Get those bills up high. Utility bills, the grocery bills, the gas and diesel bills. All the bills going up. They can't afford shit. Yep, they can't afford shit. They about to lose shit. And hey, this nigga gonna come with a solution. When there's a problem, there's gonna be a reaction. There's gonna be a solution. There's gonna be the chip implant, the mark of the beast. Not no fucking cell phone. That's gonna be the mark of the beast. It's gonna be the chip implant. Because if it was a cell phone, we'd already been dead. They would already been. If the cell phone was the mark of the beast, we all would have been already dead by nuclear destruction. Shit. And having a cell phone don't create a fucking mark on your body. It creates a physical mark. And I'm saying this right now because I had somebody gonna leave a comment talking about the mark of the beast of the cell phone. No, the fuck it ain't. It's the damn chip implant. And that's gonna leave a physical mark on the outside of your skin after they install that shit inside your body. From either a needle or surgery by cutting your skin, like say the brain chip, cutting your skin, getting inside your skull, and attaching a damn chip inside your brain. Shit.
On energy.
That's the mark of the beast.
Businesses bills go up and down on energy because of the actions of Putin or Trump across the world.
That's the plan, to get them damn energy prices up, so create chaos for the people. They're, give them headaches. They be catching hell. And that's happening in America too, all over the world. And it's all because they want people to get microchip. Oh, this all rubbish. All rubbish. Get the fuck, like he gives a fuck about your bills. Shit, rubbish. This nigga living good. Even here, these niggas are living good, but the citizens are suffering. Oh shit. They down, Iran, they down to get their people microchip. I mean, Iran, I'm talking about the Iranian government. Just like the UK government.
We have a blockade going into effect. That'll be 10 o'clock.
And of course, the US government.
Other nations are working so that Iran will not be able to sell oil.
We're not supporting blockade, and all of the marshalling diplomatically, politically, and capability, that's all focused from our point of view on getting the straits fully open. I want to be really clear about that. And the reason for that is because that's the way we get energy prices down as quickly as possible.
Ich bin von der Entscheidung, die Gespräche in Islamabad abzubrechen, nicht überrascht gewesen. Ich hatte von Anfang an nicht den Eindruck, dass sie wirklich gut vorbereitet waren. Und insofern wird das jetzt ein längerer Prozess werden.
The ongoing closure of the Strait of Hormuz is greatly damaging, and the restoration of the freedom of navigation is of paramount importance for us.
Скорее всего, такие действия продолжат негативно влиять на международные рынки. Это можно предположить с большой долей уверенности. Но многие детали остаются неясными, непонятными, поэтому я бы сейчас воздержался от каких-то субстантивных комментариев.
Obadiah chapter 1 verse 7, the AMP. All the men allied with you shall send you on your way to the border. The men who were at peace with you shall deceive you and overpower you. Hold on. Those who eat your bread, those you trust, shall set a hostile ambush for you. There is no understanding of it. Revelation chapter 17, verse 3, verse 16. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman, U.S., that's represent America, or America, United States of Amalek, sits upon a scarlet colored beast. NATO, the EU, for a name of blasphemy, full of names and blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. That's part of the NATO. And the 10 horns, NATO, having thou showest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. And I was about to read that. Yeah, and here we go. I was about to read this. Whore, the U.S., they're a whore. They're stinking ass, stank coochie ass, STD carrying, nasty bitch. America, that's America for you. And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. What kind of fire gonna be? Nuclear fire, because they're gonna be contributing to this World War III, and they're gonna go against America by launching nuclear ballistic, or I should say ballistic missiles at America, and warheads will be sent over there to America from Russia, China, Pakistan, who else? Enemies of America and other of the allies, but some of the allies of America are going to turn against America. Yep. And you can clearly see that right now, that the division is happening. Yeah, that's it. But anyway, seek the Lord by seeking his props and take heed what it's saying. Try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, and repenting to Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and trust on Yahweh Shema Shah, and stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust on Yahweh Shema Shah. Stay humble, stay in order with your man. Hold on. For you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust on Yahweh Shema Shah. Stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order. Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and bless to the whole full lake, and all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.